So hello, welcome back. Welcome back to Now for Broadcast. So last time, I don't know what happened. I don't really know what's happening just in general, but, it's been a good time so far. Again, like, I do think this might end up, this is an early contender, I think, for, Game of the Year. You know, I think it's pretty good. But it's day 154 of the Rude Awakening. Rhythmic beating of the harmonica brings you slowly back to consciousness. Opening your eyes, you're greeted by a semicircle of concerned faces, your family by your side, a reassuring familiar sight in all these new surroundings. You blink a few times to clear your sleep from your eyes, bring everything into focus. Looking up, Sam's face is a mixture of concern and frustration. Things haven't been great between you two lately, and Chris hasn't been helping things. Looming at Sam's shoulder with a sour expression, you see that there's still no lost love between the two of you. While Sam clearly is worried about you, the family's scowl is obvious on both of their faces. Reach over to Sam. Thanks for coming, honey. The worry of you wins out, and Sam takes your hand before leaning in to kiss your forehead. Of course, sweetheart. Could never have been anywhere else. For the first time in a while, you both genuinely smile at each other before you look to the rest of your family. Susie is standing next to Sam, less worried now. You're awake and smiling. You can see Sam's worry on your daughter's face. She quickly turns to a frown when she notices you're looking at her. I'm glad you're okay. It's muttered more than anything, a grudging acknowledgement that despite your recent differences, she still cares. Okay, roll back playfully, thanks for coming. Susie can't help but smile back at you, rolling her eyes good-naturedly. It's great to have her here. Charlie catches your eye as he fidgets with the edge of the blanket. You cock your head and look at him, one eyebrow raised questioningly. As soon as you turn and look at him, you can see that Charlie tense up. His concern cleared on his face. You're definitely good, right? He finally asked, quickly looking away. Of course I am, buddy. There's nothing to worry about. Perry looks at you and grins, one of those infectious smiles that spread around the room. It's always good to have him on your corner. Your smile fades as you notice your mother staring listlessly out the window. Despite all your best efforts, she's still not doing well lately. You okay, Mum? Your mother starts, your call clearly shocking her out of her reverie. Turns to you and smiles, and you're grateful to see the increasingly rare recognition in her eyes. Yes, dear, of course. How are you feeling? Smile warmly and nod. Before you can respond, a doctor bustles in and ushers everyone out. She asks you for what feels like the 100th time how you're feeling. Surprisingly well, all things considered. Excellent. No sign of any real damage, but a bit of a shock to the old system, pardon the pun. Not that we recommend you do anything like that again, of course. After a couple of days rest, you should feel right as rain. She turns to leave, but stops at the door. Oh, and the private room, of care, the doctor gestures to the room, which you notice now looks rather expensive. It's all been paid for by Mr. Boltzmann. He left those flowers and said not to worry and take the rest of the week off. He'll see you Monday, apparently. Seems like the least he could do. I mean, he did create a hostile work environment that it led to me getting in the hospital. He's lucky I'm not suing him. Day 180, a burden to bear. You come home to a partially late shift to find the kitchen lights still on, which normally isn't a good sign. Everybody's usually in bed by now. Softly opening the kitchen door, you find Sam sat at the table. Bills and papers are strewn in front of them, as well as what looks to be their second pack of biscuits. They shoot you a strange smile as you take a seat next to them. Sam frowns and goes back to the bill they're holding. Hey, sweetheart, just looking at the numbers again. They look at the door to the pantry, now converted to your mother's bedroom. They've been doing our best, but I think Cassandra really needs a nurse to look after her now. Suddenly, the bills are all you can see. Fortunately, we have the money that's been coming in, and we've been able to save. We got more than enough to keep going, Sam smiles at you. You know things will be difficult, and daily care won't be cheap. But she's your mother. We have to, really, don't we? Don't we? Gratefully smile back. Of course, you'll pay for the care your mother needs. I'm going to be a good son. The sword of Damocles sheathed. And at least for the moment, you grab the papers and stuff them into your drawer. Such a relief not to worry about it anymore. Or so you told Sam. Hours later, you're still awake, staring at the ceiling thinking, how long will the money last? Almost been 1 year now. Oh, we're going to go into the studio. Excellent. Yeah, and this is where the game really is gonna start to shine. Where did my phone go? I'll be honest, I don't really know. That's okay. Remember that company share prices are affected by your advert choice. I haven't been able to do anything with the shares yet. Like, I haven't had enough money to actually invest. So, actually, no, I did invest. I invested in something. I don't remember what I actually invested in. Everything's off, right?
Poor young unfortunates who find themselves
Stay where you are,
excluded from the Go-Getters program,
Jenny,
and
this
they're
is not
inevitable
Jenny's
demise.
decision, Jeremy, or yours.
At 8 p.m, it's movie time with the
I'll talk to
network
Bucks.
premiere of
Oh,
Smash
good.
Hit, Bullet
Dr.
Time,
Postman.
I'll return his wife's casserole
and
dish
after
at our
that,
dinner
at
next
20
week.
past 10, Dr. Adrian Atkinson Blimey returns with a new season
Jenny.
of Incisors, and his very first guest is popular parrot Hamilton.
Sorry, Kath, you're gonna have to leave.
At 11:30, it's a double bill for popular transatlantic comedy That Nun.
Letting it go to your head.
She nearly blinded me.
Hell yeah, that nun's got
I've
guns.
seen these days.
Things are better, Jeremy, you know that.
This evening's entertainment.
Stop being so
Going in
high and mighty
5,
and do your job.
4,
Time to hand over to
3.
Jeremy, Megan, and all the team at the
So what do you think
Good
today's
evening.
theme
I'm
is
Megan
going to
Wolf.
be?
And I'm Jeremy Dawes. Our main headlines tonight.
The establishment strikes back. The World Council has agreed today to impose punitive sanctions on the people of this country.
The sanctions, which are broad-ranging, include restrictions on the supply
Why are we
of oil
getting
and
sa- wait,
gas,
why are we getting
food,
sanctions?
clothing, and even some medicines.
What have I done
But
against
how should we react?
sanctions?
We asked the public. How should we react?
What are your reaction to the sanctions? What are your reaction to the
fucking
sanctions?
outrageous. My mom needs insulin. Am I supposed to get a transition? What's the government doing about it? Eh? What's the government doing about it?
Thanks, Patrick. Fascinating stuff. Thanks, Patrick.
Popular Prime Minister Julia Salisbury has released a reassuringly brave statement in response to the World Council's controversial announcement.
Very rude for the world to sanction my beautiful country.
Is nothing short of outrageous. We are a democratically elected government with massive popular support. We do not recognise these sanctions. And we encourage other socially progressive nations of the world to both resist and ignore them. Advance have struck fear into the heart of the international community by showing that it is possible to have radical change for the betterment of the many. And whilst I wish we could improve other countries as much as we have our own, we do not rely on the help of others to thrive. This country is entirely self-sufficient. We are a team. Now more than ever.
Pretty sure there's no way that Britain can be self-sufficient.
It's on your side.
I just don't think it's big enough to be self-sufficient. Okay.
Defiant stuff. But what do you, the public, think of our government's stance? Robin Short found out.
Hi there, I was wondering if you could spend a moment to give us your thoughts on the government.
Honestly, I think they're doing a great job. I know the assets and world checks have made the difference for us for the cost of the little one. And people seem, happier in the main. I always said things would get better with a woman in charge.
Apparently there's two prime ministers though, so I don't know if that's how that
Global
works.
mega corporation Remington's Fist today announced that trials have successfully completed on their groundbreaking male contraceptive product, Responsibility.
The
Great
drug has
name.
been passed by the government for general release, but the small print warns that, in rare cases, side effects can include blurred vision, enlarged genitalia, and increased risk of stroke. No double entendre intended.
But what do you, the public, think of Sophia Remington's latest venture? Patrick?
What are your thoughts on the new male contraceptive pill?
I'm doing that now, aren't I? I can't see what's wrong with a washable lamb's bladder. It was
So
fine
true.
for me and Harold. All 17
She's a
of my
bladder.
kids use the same method to this day. And my firstborn even uses the same bladder. At my age, who cares?
Oh no.
At my age, who cares?
Okay, all right, yeah. Okay, all
The delicate sound of thunder A frightening stop for commuters this morning, who were confronted by a somewhat sinister sight as they left their train.
Many travellers reported feeling intimidated by the silent figures who stood motionless outside every major station in the capital. Radical extremist group Disrupt, who organised the show of strength, refused to comment on the meaning of the strange protest.
Is it a show of strength and nobody understands what the hell you're doing?
But how do we feel about these somewhat radical extremists and their upsetting methods? Robin found out.
I don't even know what they believe in. I don't even know what our government believes in, to be honest.
It's all a bit noisy for me, really. As Mother always said, leave the rebelling to the rebels, Malcolm.
Feast or famine.
What does that even
Resourceful
mean?
doctors David Wong and Ingrid Swansborg and Hawkinsford today announced their first successful harvest in Dante's taint. While it can currently only grow a few fungal strains, the scientists seem to be staying positive, as the following picture shows.
The undauntable scientists chose to try and survive in the cave system while the complex rescue operation inches forward up here on dry land.
I mean, we've got to go positive on
But
Dante's
with
taint,
Advance
right?
planning to spend an eye-watering amount of public money on the rescue craft, we asked Patrick Bannon to find out what we should all be thinking about the accelerating costs.
We got it.
What are your thoughts on the costs of the rescue?
Oh my God, Patrick Bannon, wash your mouth out with soap. You can't put a value on human life. You have to spend whatever it takes, because one day you might be trapped in an underwater cave system and you would want exactly the same.
I don't think so, actually, because for legal reasons, I'm actually not allowed within 31 yards of the coastline.
Really makes you think.
I am not a number. Applications finally opened today for the new Advanced Team Membership Cards, a scheme by the government to allow fast access to all the new public services being introduced daily.
The team membership cards are entirely voluntary, but will be recognised as legal identification by all major organisations, including the police, banks, and, rightfully, pubs and bars.
And of course, there's no charge, Jeremy.
It all seems too good to be true.
Well, you've always been a cynic. But most importantly,
We're gonna go neutral on this. We're gonna go neutral.
about the new team membership
Bit weird.
Team membership cards.
I don't really join things as a rule. As Mother always said, membership is mostly for unmentionables, Malcolm.
What does that mean?
And finally tonight, back of the net, popular sports personality Johnny Hamsleeves and his fiancée Tiffany Lamour was spotted out today doing a little shopping for what many are already calling the greatest wedding ever.
We can only assume that Tiffany's latest show, My Teenage Secretions, has sold better than expected, as by the looks of
Hell
things,
yeah.
the whole affair's about to become more expensive than Lil C's shoe collection.
I don't know who that is.
But what should your opinion be of this extravagant display of wealth?
Oh my God, fantastic! Oh my God, fantastic!
Wise words there.
Later tonight, in a bit of a switcheroo, it'll be Jeremy in the culture chair, spitting rhymes with popular rapper Jay Zus. And then
Oh, Jay Zus. I love Jay Zus.
Set to take the nation by storm again.
That's all coming up on tonight's National Night News.
The line stretched. Keep the line stretched. Good. I didn't load up any ads. Oh, I forgot about the advertisements. I forgot
First
the.
tonight,
I forgot the ads.
as we return to our main story.
Sports board.
Council today
Crazy
agreed that
Neil.
punitive and potentially illegal sanctions should be imposed upon this.
Hey, what do you mean? Who broke the VCR player?
Aim to stop the flow of food, fuel, and even some
I
medicine.
can't believe they broke the VCR player.
Tonight, we have guests from across the continent to discuss this unprecedented situation. For Advance, Peter Clement is at his home in Lanfordshire. Are you there, Peter?
Yes, I can hear you, Jeremy. Thank you for having me.
A momentous day, Prime Minister. Are you shaken?
Oh, I don't scare that easy, I'm afraid, old son. And neither do the people of this country.
Well, joining us is Ivan Vodovich, Foreign Minister of Urkistan. Ivan, thank you for being here.
Great pleasure. You, Megan Wolf, are like strongest guard of labor camp who wake up inside body of crazy, expensive prostitute. In my country, you will be worshipped as a god.
Okay. Minister, as one of those arguing most strongly for these sanctions, how do you feel about Avance's defiant stance?
Vance is like man who think he have big career in movies land. When actually, he in dirty sanitarium, screaming at me and holding tiny penis in hand.
Oh, he just like me, for real, for real.
We have like some of the cleanest mental health facilities in the continent.
And welcome to Svenland's Minister of Mojo, Björk. I'm sorry, we don't appear to have your surname.
It's just Björk, yeah. We don't use things like socially divisive as surnames.
Minister?
It's just Björk.
Minister? Right, Björk. Your country spoke in favour of advance at the World Council today, but you were noticeably absent when it came to the actual vote.
Well, what a surprise! The hippies didn't show up for the prize.
Actually, that's quite racist, because if you must know, we were going to go to the whole like vote thing there, but it's actually the festival of Fureland here at the moment, where we honor the old generations. So like we all had to look our grandparents' linear whilst the vote was happening, and that's like a really time-consuming process, actually.
You're like sissy man. You had this expression, sissy man. It's like man with tiny penis who like to wash more than once a week.
Actually, that's quite homophobic, yeah.
Oh, stop winding him up, Ivan. We're not back at the Grange now. Sorry, Jeremy. Ivan and I used to play golf back in my media days.
Yeah, he always wins.
Nothing gives him greater pleasure than grinding people's gears. The more publicly, the better.
You're like man with tiny penis who think he have tiny penis, but actually he discovered that. Could it be? No, it's tiny penis.
Ivan's just worried that when the rest of the world sees how well we're doing,
Ivan loves tiny penises.
Oh my gosh, that he's got squirreled away. Because that's what these sanctions are, Megan. They're the last pathetic gasp of an establishment in collapse. Wolves shut the gates, Ivan, old mate.
Good. They can join others on my wall.
Actually, in Svenland, we have like serious animal welfare legislation. Like my friend Helga, she got arrested for killing a butterfly that was hovering over her fuel tank.
She deserves it, to be honest. Let's be honest.
I used to know a girl called Jan Sandwich. Do you know that cracker too? I wonder what became of her.
We seem to be wandering a little from the news here.
Human interest, Jeremy. The real people behind the headlines and all that. So if you're watching, Jan, give us a call. Yeah. Let's see if we can't organise a reunion.
Crash, I'm not sure about that. I'll have to run it past Mrs. Clement first, eh?
Peter, you're like man trying to empty ashes of mistresses into oncoming vent. Soon you have tiny penis and beard full of secrets.
In Svenland, we don't really go in for all that restrictive monogamy stuff here. We're kind of fluid, actually.
Okay. Well, it seems that we are running out of time.
Yes, so before we go to the break, briefly, if you would, gentlemen, with the people of this country facing shortages and
possible shortages and power outages.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Possible shortages and power outages. Can you summarise your thoughts for us, Minister Björk?
Well, from here, yeah, you all look a bit stupid really arguing about outdated devices concepts like money. In Svenland, we replaced currency with a system of bodily fluids back in the 1970s, and that's like a really hard to sanction, actually.
Thank you, Minister Votovich.
Your country is like man who think he invented perfect trap for giant Newton hairy bear. But really, he just standing in field
holding his tiny penis. Yes, thank you, Minister. And finally, Prime Minister Clement.
Let me talk to your viewers here, Jeremy. Don't worry, everybody. Don't be afraid. Don't even lose a wink of sleep. We knew the rest of the world would react this way, and we're ready. As my old man used to say, you can't make a shite pie without blocking a few toilets.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Reassuring words there.
Thank you, Prime Minister. We'll be back.
After these messages.
We'll be back.
1 minute back.
Hey, Peter, I over your way this weekend. You fancy a quick 9?
Yeah, sure, front or back.
That's what I hope you're asking Megan Wolf for me.
She's out of your league, mate.
I think they can still hear you. You're not off the air yet. Okay, let's see what commercial do we have? Oh, it's the Sports Ball board game. Hell yeah.
This is important. No government censorship should would show up in blue. Same as regular censoring. Keep an eye out for the advanced blue waveform.
A+. Oh my god, I'm so good at this game. And we got more things to censor. If you lose in Sports Board, the board game, the Sports Board game members win your kids. Yeah, screw you, sorry. Is that sorry? That might be wrong. I don't remember what board game that is.
Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. I'm Megan Wolf. Later, we have an exclusive first look at the theatrical sensation everyone's going to be talking about. But first, it's time to go over to the culture spot with lovely old Jeremy Donaldson, who's joined by a very special guest. Jeremy.
Thanks, Megan. I have the honour and privilege of being joined by hip-hop royalty. He's been called the son of the streets and the father of truth.
I have a feeling this is leaning into getting into another song, and I'm very excited for that.
Jesus!
Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, it's a real honor to be here on this show, the news. You know, as a kid on the streets.
Well, I want another song number so badly.
To be here right now is crazy.
You've had quite the journey to be here today. Can you tell us about it?
Well, you know, I try not to, well, you know, the past is the past, and I don't like to dwell on it. But yeah, man, the streets is all I remember. Like, my mother donated me to a charity shop soon after I was born. Elderly lady took pity on me. You know, she let me sleep on a pile of crime fiction until I taught myself how to walk.
Wow, that's quite the childhood.
And she died, like, died tragically. Right there in my arms, man.
That's really sad. Jesus.
I remember a tear falling as she laid there next to the used homeware. And in that moment, I became a child of the streets. I was just 18 months old.
What a tale. What a tale. You're known for your direct and honest lyrics. Was your style informed by your troubled past?
Oh, like I said, I try not to talk about it. It's just I try not to talk about it.
Look at our green arrows, man. Like people are loving it.
My first album is about the story of the first 4 times I stole, so I wouldn't starve. A small group of infants came to see me as their de facto leader. They call me Mr. Cheese Slice. Anyway, we were like a family.
So it would seem.
Still 4 cheese slices?
Recently, you've been quite outspoken about the government.
Yeah, fuck the government. Fuck advance. Fuck Peter Clement.
What is it that you object to so vehemently?
Well, you know, they stole from us. They're taking our money and spending it, man.
Redistributing it. Actually, homelessness has been all but eliminated in the last couple of months.
So?
Surely that's a cause close to your heart?
Yeah, nah, of course, man, very much so. I just mean, like, why do I have to pay for it, you know?
You don't. People have been rehoused on property seized from the historically wealthy. And that couldn't have been you, could it?
Look, yeah, I worked hard to be here. I built this from nothing, and I deserve to be rewarded for that.
Would you say you worked harder than, say, a farmer or a care worker?
I don't know. But if people are taking something from my music, choose to value it, buy it, who's to say I don't? And no one can take that away from me.
Not even to help, say, vulnerable children? Mr. Cheese Slice.
What is it you're trying to say?
I just don't understand where you've placed yourself politically. I mean, is it ideological or is it tactical?
Well, it's more of
or
like...
maybe it's hereditary.
Stop trying to tie me in knots with your words, Jeremy. I let the music speak for itself. And the people agree with me.
Well, that remains to be seen. But you have given me a very easy segue out of a conversation that I promise you.
There are people getting ready in camera 4.
Than it was for you.
There's people getting ready in camera 4.
With his hit song, Mrs. Ludlow's Tears.
Oh no, I'm going to do something a little different. It's a new single I've been working on.
Oh, so this is unapproved, is it?
Yeah. You love it.
Excellent. Don't worry, we've got a state-of-the-art censorship system. What's the worst that could happen? So here he is with a new song. Aren't we lucky? It's Jesus!
First, you're gonna pay up.
Is this gonna be a real song, or are they gonna censor the hell out of it? Oh no. Okay, we got the song up.
We're all different races from many different places. At any given moment, only one could be the greatest. So you can feel elation from your participation. Still two leaders in this motherfucking nation. Now we're getting sanctioned, talking about expansion. Why does Julius require a massive fucking mansion? So fuck all your schemes. I don't need your freaky team, and I don't need your help to achieve my fucking dreams. So don't make a fuss when you find you're one of us. Get every single one of you's a bit Jesus. And you can call me crazy, cause no one ever pays me. But I won't waste a lifetime being motherfucking lazy. I may be inventive, my taste may be expensive, but why would I get out of bed with no fucking incentive? Although it's contravention of your obvious intention, I like to eat a little of the fruits in my invention. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. The best of the praise of the crest of the wave, cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. It's time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork.
What are the lightsabers in the background?
So this is for the snub ones, the push and the shove ones, the folks that feel the burden of their motherfucking loved ones. Ones who had plenty like a motherfucking Bentley. The ones who now finding out their bank accounts are empty. The ones of aspiration who had to flee a nation. The ones who built a business out of dreams of perspiration. There's all sorts of people, the good and the evil. It only takes a glance to see we're not all equal. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. And the best of the praise of the crest of the waves, cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Get out of your seats, get your asses in the streets, set a fire in the building, let them feel some fucking heat. Say you hate to go getters, you're spoiling bed letters, and burn them on the powers of advances fucking letters. Gonna take his facts, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Chase that dream, you don't need a fucking team, and advances little dances aren't as harmless as it seems, cause they're stale and corrupt. Then your anger erupt, then your hearts and your minds and your fists to destruct.
Not the best song. I think so far that might be the worst of the three. I think the Bear song, Mr. Bear, is still a fucking top 10 classic.
I'm sorry. I may not agree with you, but I'd just like to offer you an apology. I've just been told that there was some kind of issue upstairs, and an attempt was made to censor some of your notes.
What? Are you joking?
I'd just like to say to you and everyone at home that this was a mistake.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe this. Absolutely ridiculous.
Here at the National Nightly News, we pride ourselves on remaining neutral, unbiased, and independent of any outside interference. You have my word. We will never censor ideas. We will never censor. Back to you, Megan.
Well, a bit of dangerous language there, sorry about that. Well, thank you to little Jeremy Donaldson for providing our culture spot. Coming up, we'll be speaking to a couple of familiar faces.
Ready for a second ad?
Upcoming dramatic outing.
Just a reminder, fixing that old VCR. When a new tape, last ad break.
You could just come with
No, this is ridiculous.
What?
Who do I complain to?
This is just a mix-up, I'm sure. Now, if you come with me, I really do have to ask
Oh,
you
trust me. My father's going to hear about this.
I understand. This is unbelievable, Megan.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jeremy.
Yeah, let's put out the ad. Boost the ad.
We've got dishes, we've got salad.
Hell yeah.
Oh, here we go.
They got fire pits.
Look at him.
Oh, say no more. Say no more.
Neil is incredible. Go Neil.
We're back together again, eh? Who'd have thought it?
Absolutely. This is awfully exciting, isn't it?
Right, okay then. We're going live in 10 seconds. Open on camera 1.
Half off engraving. Holy shit. That's a deal that you cannot pass up.
5, 4.
You cannot pass up that deal. Go get your headstone engraved today.
Welcome back, and no, you're not mistaken. Sitting across from us are some very familiar faces.
The bear people are back.
Megan. It was only a yogurt commercial, but I'm still proud of it.
Here to talk about his new show, we're joined by national treasure Tommy Harris, the National Theatre's Philippa Ray, and National Deficit Jeff Algebra.
It's so lovely to have you all. Tommy, would you like to tell us about the show?
You know what? I'd bloody love to. It's about me. It's about my life.
Did they make a Mr. Bear TV show?
So, right, picture this. Their legs akimbo, mid-session, sweat is pouring out of me like an immense hog. And then Cindy comes in, she says, Pete's on the phone.
That's Peter Clement, the Prime Minister.
Yeah, Pete's actually a really good mate of mine.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, no, he comes to training sometimes. He's actually a pretty good goal sweeper. Anyway, so, Pete, he says, Toby, he thinks my name's Toby, see? He says, how would you like to spread your message of team spirit and cooperation across this fractured nation? How would you like to really make a difference in these desperate times?
What did you say?
Yeah, right,
So, Jeff, the question on everyone's lips is, what in God's name are you doing here?
Well, after the success of my debut work and all the people that I've touched, I knew that I had a career in theatre. Yeah? I've always been an admirer of Tommy from afar. So when my manager phoned and said I'd been offered the gig as director, I was ecstatic. I whipped my trousers off and got straight to work.
Why did you do that?
I do all my best work with my trousers off.
Same, dude. Same. Who does that?
No, I wouldn't say so. Right, Tommy, sorry, would you just give us a sense of what the show is actually about?
It's about how hard it's been for me and some of the struggles that I've faced. It like really getting to the heart of how tough it is to be me. I call it Tommy Harris. Jesus, that was hard.
Catchy. We actually have some clips of the process of the show. Would you mind telling us what's going on here?
Yeah, so the show is built around two things.
Got a clip. I'm excited for this clip.
Scenes from my life, as well as epic fantasy retellings of scenes from my life.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
I'm sorry, son. You're an embarrassment.
Aww.
Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
Back, demon! Back to the hells!
Philippa,
wow,
what's
incredible.
it been like co-starring with Tommy Harris? I've always dreamed of treading the boards at medium-scale regional theatres, Megan. And for once, this show really gives me something to sink my teeth into. What's different about this show, then? Tommy, Mr. Harris's show really lets me show my tremendous range as an actor. I've always suffered from typecasting, forced to play the same tired characters in every god-awful yogurt advert or godforsaken soap opera or, God forbid, a pantomime. But, you know, this show has really let me just go there.
Jeff, the viewers at home will be dying to know exactly what is it that you bring to the show?
Good question. I think these guys would agree with me when I say that it's my steady hand on the tiller, my arm round the shoulder approach that's really brought the production from strength to strength.
Absolutely right. Jeff's contributions are immeasurable.
Oh, no. Cut from that shot. Cut from that shot.
A sneak peek of anything else that might be in the show.
Yeah, all sorts, yeah.
We've got lots of exclusive first-hand experiences of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
He was in the underground sports board?
Fantasy retellings of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
Oh my God, he's so good. How did he not make it into the sport board championship?
And thing saying this was officially commissioned by the government?
Yeah, all paid for by the taxpayer, which, you know, to be honest, was actually a lifesaver. Really.
I would pay for
I
that.
think it's fair to say that without Advance's support, we'd have had to cut the finale.
Which frankly would have been a travesty.
Oh, God, Jesus Christ!
Oh god, they got a real dragon.
You do this every night.
Absolutely.
You do this every night.
It's a metaphor. Absolutely.
For what?
It's a metaphor.
For what?
Death.
And the public are footing the bill, are they?
Too bloody right they are. Between the cost of my tour bus and the dry cleaning and my ties, I'm barely scraping a profit here.
Amazing. And where can the folks at home come and see this for themselves?
We're performing all over the nation.
And people can see it for absolutely free, all courtesy of Advance. Isn't that incredible, Jeremy?
Yes, it's unbelievable. Yes.
Well, thank you all so much for coming. Next time we see you, no doubt, you'll have taken our jobs.
That's all we have time for tonight. Join us tomorrow when I'll be interviewing the world's most attractive horse. I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolf. And from all of us here, have a peaceful night.
Oh, play that.
That's the ads. Let's get reset for tomorrow, please.
Hey, we must stop bumping into each other like this, eh?
Tired of dull and lifeless hair?
Oh.
Fed up with dry and brittle.
Yeah, we got some behind the scenes stuff going on here.
Say hello to our seed gastrine.
There you go, broadcast complete. We had an almost perfect bar. Look how good we are at this game. Okay, continue. A+. D? How did I get a D? In the music segment. I received full wage. Still got holiday time wages. I'm well off. Holy, I'm so good at this. Crazy Neil's like going to the freaking moon. Channel 1 still loves me. And we'll continue on from here. So are we gonna have another broadcast, or do you think it's gonna have a little bit of a story mode segment? I'm hoping this goes broadcast to broadcast. I'll be honest, I don't care that much about the story segments. And by that I mean that, you know, like the kind of like choose your own adventure stuff. I don't really care for that much. However, the music segments and the broadcast segments are absolute bops. Okay, what day are we on? We're almost on the full year. It's only been like a week, okay. A ladder worth climbing. The lazy Sunday afternoon in summer with you and Sam making most of both kids being out of the house. You bang your head, come out of the cupboard with the last 2 slices of homemade cake. It used to be much easier when you could store things in the pantry. It's rare for you and Sam to actually get to finish sweet things in this house, and you savor every moment. Just as you take your last bite, you hear the sound of the front door slamming. That'll be Charlie coming from the go-getters. You can hear him practically running to come find you, and he's grinning ear to ear when he finally does. I have some really big news. You and Sam play along, sitting attentively and with bated breath. Ready, Charlie asks, as both of you nod enthusiastically. With a flourish, he reveals a new badge from his pocket and proudly presents it to both of you to examine, as he announces, as of today, I'm a member of the first tier of the Cohesion Cadets. There's way more stuff I'm going to do. We'll be working some weekends, but it's really cool. Okay, you and Sam can back at your son. You're thrilled that he's happy and doing well. Their son seems to be happy with what he's doing in life. Okay, a grown-up child. You've always had dinner as a family for important events, and tonight's no exception. We invited Chris around as an olive branch, or Sam did, and that's why, apparently. It'll be the last time you're all going to be together for a while. So far, you've managed to avoid fighting with Chris or Susie over politics, which Sam is no doubt grateful for. With her exam and your work, not seen as much as Susie lately. Of course, it's squeezed having your mom and Chris around, but you'll make it work, just like Christmas, though hopefully with fewer outbursts. So Alex, I believe you have a few words. Sam poisonally nods, nodding towards Susie. Your daughter cocks an eyebrow with a quizzical expression. You can't help but see a little of yourself in it. Yeah, of course. What's this about, Susie asks, laughing as she takes a drink from her champagne-adjacent sparkling wine. Sam made a point this afternoon. It's her big day. And you should all be celebrating with her achievements. So France still exists. They have Champagne. Well, Champagne adjacent. It's near southern France. Come on out with it, Alex. We're waiting. Chris laughs, flinking glass of Susie. Chris seems to be in good spirit at least, even if we're chiming in unhelpfully as usual. I just want to say we're proud of you, Susie, for well done. You're going to go into med school? Oh, Susie's mischievous smile becomes a grin as she gets up, comes around the table, and gives you a big hug. I'm going to miss you. As you can see, Sam started to tear up as you stand and join an embrace. Miss us? Are you going somewhere? A good question. Susie laughs, breaking a hug. No, you're not going to rid of me yet. I'll probably have to leave when I get my first posting. Oh, hush now. Let's not talk about that. Sam cuts her off smilingly. The rest of the evening passes a happy blur, and even Chris behaves themselves. Couldn't be prouder. So our daughter has gone into medical school. Good for them. I'm a doctor. A sign of things to come. Shopping, something always seemed so tedious before the sanctions, has become even more of a chore now. You managed to get almost everything you need for the family this evening. You have to come back tomorrow to get through the week. There's a queue to leave the car park, though it's hard to make out why in the dark. Hopefully whatever's causing it won't be long. As the final car in front of you drives off, you realize the queue is actually due to a checkpoint set up at the exit. A friendly-looking man with the advanced uniform, CCO, and pulls it on the number of the places on it. Approaches your car and knocks on the driver's side window. You roll it down. Good evening, nothing to worry about. I'm just wondering if I can see your team membership card, please. Didn't Sam sign both of you for yours a few weeks back? You rummage in the glove box and eventually produce your card. Yep, that's all great, thanks. Don't forget to keep an eye out for the new team lottery starting up soon. Lots of great benefits to be won. Have a nice day now. The man smiles and pats the bonnet of your car? What part? I'm guessing that's the roof. The man is all smiles as he okay, it waves you off. Are the cards mandatory? We get free prize just for having the card. You know, I will love a free prize. I'm already well off in a society. I'm not going to question it. I'm the upper stratosphere of fake Britain here. So, I want my free reward. It's a Saturday, one of the few days off, and you've made the most of it. But as of late afternoon draws on, an invitation sits pinned to the fridge, staring accusingly at you. The Channel 1 Gala is a mandatory work event. Bossman is very quick to tell you. Also, don't you dare be late. Fine. Probably not be risk to make Bossman's wrath better go. You best start getting ready. You wonder if Sam is going to give you a lift. A drink or two might help with the little enforced office socializing. Hopefully it won't be too bad. After all, you're pretty good. I'm so good at my job. I'm incredible at my job. The nightly news night. The nightly news night. The national news night. You arrive on time, barely, at the Sovian, one of the oldest and grandest hotels in the capital. You're surprised to see a queue to get in and quickly realize it's because people are being searched at the door by some very military-looking personnel in smart attire. While you're waiting, you can't help but notice how very opulent the building is, possibly the fanciest place you've ever been to in your life. You submit to being patted down with a sigh of relief and let into the hotel. Once inside, you're directed to the grand ballroom, and following the signs, you marvel at the sheer scale of the place. The amount of armed security guards. When you finally arrive, a very severe-looking woman at the door asks you for your name. I'm Alex Winston. She currently checks her list, whispering something to the waiter beside her. You made it just in time to be seated for dinner. Please follow Emmanuel here to your table. The waiter smiles at you and opens one of the great double doors, gesturing for you to enter. Immediately, you can see why it's called the Grand Ballroom. Pause for a second to take it all in. You feel a slight tap on your arm, and Emmanuel gestures to you to follow him. You see it to your table in the center floor area, with a decent view of the stage. Clearly, you're in Bossman's good books for the moment. If you're standing with some of your colleagues you've seen around the Channel 1 offices before, you don't know that well. One of them informs you, far too excitingly, it's a very corporate evening of awards and speeches. At least the food should be good. Dinner is indeed lovely, and with the help of the no doubt very expensive wine, conversation flows easily enough. In fact, much to your surprise, you're actually presented with an award for Best Newcomer to Channel 1 Family. Again, this is unexpected, but I deserve it. I absolutely deserve it. As you walk up the collector, you recognize the presenter as Dr. Adrian Blimey of Censorship fame. You thank the advance for sponsoring this year's gala before specifically thanking Prime Minister Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement for being in attendance tonight. As you take to the stage, you see the frontmost central table to indeed seat the Prime Ministers, as well as Bossman, making some other very well-to-do types that you don't recognize. Next one is all the security. As you're headed to the award, Dr. Blimey asks if you'd like to say a few words. So I can make a joke thanking Dave for fleeing the country and leaving his job. Or if you're a little nervous, you sputter out some quick praise for advance in Channel 1. I'm gonna make a little joke about Dave. Most of the room breaks out in polite laughter, but you see neither of the Prime Ministers crack so much as a smile. Nor does Boastman. He's too busy, frankly, flipping between examining Peter and Julia for a reaction and glaring daggers at you. Eventually, join in the light applause as Adrian ushers you back to your seats. Okay, well, that's just a little joke. Just as you're finishing up dinner, one of the other people at your table points behind you. So as you turn to see Boastman walking briskly past with Julie Salisbury and Peter Clement in tow. I'm pretty sure he was pointedly ignoring you. He seems to be introducing Prime Ministers to a section of people at different tables. Finish out the rest of the meal, listen to a few speeches, and head home. All in all, it's a surprisingly nice evening. You might actually look forward to the next one. Frank Boastman invites you to that one, of course. Okay, what is our next day? About 5 days later. And we're going to go back to the studio. Again, I don't know. I'm assuming the game ends at 1 year. That just kind of makes sense to me. You know, the 365-day mark. But I'm also judging that, I think, literally based on nothing other than my gut intuition. Which might not be the best idea here. The heat wave. Okay. Don't forget our ads. Come to Blummings. Wait, what's it say? Family-friendly holiday camp. The heart of the countryside. Check power. You don't need power to put a VCR into the thing.
Alex, you'll have noticed that the valves are heating up excessively due to the current heat wave. When they get too hot, the trip switch will blow, as you've seen. Once things have cooled down and the trip switch is back to normal, you can get the power back on. You should keep the fan pointed at the correct valve by aiming it up and down. The middle gauge when you're facing the screen will warn you, so keep an eye on it. Also, maintenance tells me that the fan power switch occasionally turns off for no good reason, so keep an ear open for that too.
How does that happen? Hello, Keefabus. Thank you, thank you.
They've just strapped on their wax wings.
Classical illusions are no substitute for air conditioning.
You know, I genuinely thought you'd be in a better mood today.
Okay, what do you want?
Yes,
we want to do.
Our gun-toting handler.
Who, Andy?
I mean, come on, we gotta do Crazy Neo. Crazy Neo's a classic.
More like keep us in line. Keep guns.
Okay, so basically the power's gonna just turn off randomly.
3.
Okay, cool that one off.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main headlines tonight. Siege mentality. The World Council today established a military blockade to enforce the unjust and punitive sanctions.
These look like they're both the same image. We're gonna go 3, but they looked exactly the same.
A short time ago, Prime Minister Julia Salisbury issued a commanding response.
We're getting a military blockade?
Escalation.
The World Council should make no mistake. This blockade and the illegal sanctions it seeks to enforce are an act of war and will be treated as such. Any incursion, however slight, into our territory will be met with swift and deadly force.
What is happening?
You have been warned.
What are you?
3's a crowd.
Oh, my phone's gone. I just got a loudspeaker.
Might have been a touch busier than expected. In a photo leaked today, it appears the union of football star Johnny Hamsleeves and his bride, Tiffany Lamore, may have had a few uninvited guests. Hundreds lined the street to celebrate with the happy couple. Eyewitnesses say a cheer went up as the blushing bride passed by in her carriage, shaped like a bacon sandwich, which is said to be either a protest against the meat industry or a mix-up at the carriage factory. In it to win it. Exciting news from Advance today with the announcement of a new monthly prize draw for all team membership card holders. Every month, lucky winners from across the country.
We gotta go for the old guy, right? Look how happy this man is. He deserves to be on TV.
Unique prizes worth more than money used to be. Take-up on the scheme has been much higher than expected, and if this lucky winner's delighted face is anything to go by, it looks like pretty soon
the heat
everyone's
is okay.
have
You
one.
don't want the entire studio to burst into flames.
Sales of condoms have plummeted this month as sales of responsibility soar. Since becoming widely available earlier this year, the male contraceptive pill has become commonplace in the lives of many heterosexual couples, and as a result, many are turning their backs on more traditional prophylactics. Today by one leading medical journal suggests that it's women who are moving away from the humble Johnny. The paper found that partners who were willing to share the contraceptive responsibility were far more likely to be screened for infection and to report happier relationships. Oh, Captain, my Captain. Progress today for the stranded scientists of Dante's Taint. As the captain
Do they say that the people in Dante's Taint?
The trapped team have survived in the cave system for many months now. But hope is on the horizon as the expedition leader...
Again, I don't know what these images even represent, but I'm going to go with this guy.
Given rumours of incompetence throughout his career, Captain Archibald Viator III has proven a controversial choice. His troubling service record includes accusations of being drunk, disorderly, and disrobed on duty.
Hell yeah.
Classy. Burning down the house? The Capitol was put on high alert last night after disrupt terrorists set an emblematic fire in the heart of Parliament Park. Violent conflict broke out at the demonstration after a mob of so-called protesters from the radical group launched an unprovoked attack on community cohesion officers in attendance. While the burning fist of resistance certainly seems a powerful image in these difficult times, fire officials were quick to point out that had they not arrived in time, and I quote, the whole bloody city might be yesterday's burnt crumpets. All this, and I'll be talking to some people with fascinating medical conditions, as well as
Power seems
one of the
okay.
contenders in this year's Feline Football Championship.
What?
And
The Feline Football Championships this year?
That's all up on tonight's National Nightly News.
I can't believe the championships fucking today. Or well soon. No, the heat! You freaking turn on.
Don't forget about that pesky power button on the fan.
Oh no, my
But first tonight, our team of correspondents has been dispatched to every...
Terrifying, okay.
hot weather. First, let's go...
Oh, people hate it! Oh no!
To see what the scientific community has to say.
Terrible.
Megan, how's the weather there?
It's absolutely glorious, Jeremy. Thank you for asking. I'm
Keep
here
this
with
on.
Dr. Anna Burns of the University of Princeford. Are you enjoying the weather as much as I am?
Oh, yes, it's wonderful, isn't it? My eyelids are sweating.
Didn't you play this game a while back? I played it on Friday.
Carrying out a study into just what's causing this unbelievable heat. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, we want to be able to reassure the public
Up.
once and for all that there's absolutely nothing to worry about and that they can enjoy their
That's looking
sunstroke
good.
and fossil fuels in peace.
You sound very confident about that.
Oh, very much so. I can say without any hesitation.
I just want to get back to the
there's really
green.
no
I almost
concern
lost.
here. I've actually left my car running.
Okay, so everything here looks good.
Well, we take data from weather stations from all over the world, along with atmospheric samples, and we take all that and we feed it into this state-of-the-art computer, and very soon we'll be getting a high-tech readout of the results.
Blimey, that sounds very fancy.
I should just say, none of this would be possible without the generous support of Rivington's Fist. This is all thanks to their unrivaled investment in our future, and may I just say, complimentary.
Okay, make sure that fan stays on.
Oh, here we go.
They keep adding there's like more mechanics.
As expected, everything is absolutely fucked.
Oh no!
This can't be right.
Right, but obviously you said a second ago that everything is absolutely fine, so...
Well, actually, under concern level, it just says, why, God, why?
We should be celebrating these wonderful results, I think.
There we go. Okay, this is looking good.
We need
You're
to evolve
okay.
gills within 40 years.
You look thirsty.
Here it just says, shit.
Look at you. This is meant to be a celebration. Can't go around looking like that. There you go. Much better. Can I just say thank you again to Sophie?
I think it just has early access.
Everyone, we don't have
It just has early access on like the
All we have time for.
Abandon hope and return
25th. It was like this week they came out of early access.
Enjoy that. I'd like to thank Dr. Burns for just one opinion on the climate. The sea will reclaim us
Keep
all.
this okay.
There you have it, Jeremy. Proof, if proof be need be, that everything is just fine. I'm Megan Wolf, here with science. Back to you.
Megan Wolf there, attempting to do some actual news.
So basically, this is a live feed, and this is what people are seeing on TV at
with some
home.
of the winners of this week's team membership lottery. Robin?
Thanks, Jeremy. I'm here in Scritchford with Gary Failsafe, a janitor at the local school, and Amelia Jackhammer, an aspiring poet.
Heard it turn off.
Both
Turn
of you
that
were
on.
drawn at random from those who hold team membership cards to receive this week's amazing prize. How do you feel?
Filled with fervent euphoria.
There's a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah, good, yeah.
And all that we had to do was fill in a quick form or two.
Wow, that sounds so convenient. But we're all dying to know, what have you won?
That's right, Robin. I've won dinner with Julia Salisbury at one of the capital's top restaurants.
Ooh, swanky.
Do you want the
I've
prizes?
been invited to Peter Clement's house to help him dredge the gutter in.
Absolutely terrific. You must both be over the moon.
I've written a poem about it.
So, can you tell me about the moment when you first heard the news?
Well, I was battling against a particularly difficult floater, probably one of the sixth formers, when the headmaster came and found me.
I was involved in a similarly brutal conflict with a particularly arduous stanza.
So you were both polishing turds?
No, I don't like to polish them. I like to keep them intact for my collection.
Oh.
Oh no.
How unexpected.
I don't polish turds. I write poetry.
Potato, potato. So Gary...
Fucking got him.
Clement's gonna let me keep
Roasted.
the contents of his downpipe.
There's no harm in asking, I suppose.
Would you like to hear one?
No, thank you. Gary, when you signed up for team membership, was it in hopes of winning the lottery, or were there other reasons?
I like a flutter, of course, but no, the boss said I had to sign up to keep coming into school.
Very sensible. It's important to know who we're trusting around our children.
Oh, I have an unpublished book of sonnets about children. Perhaps you'd like to hear one.
No!
Or an anthology of haikus on the death of innocence.
I'd rather hear about Gary's turd collection.
Really? I thought you might say that.
Oh no, does he have it with him?
Are you all right?
Yes, it's coming. It's inspiration and it's delicious.
Right you are.
Today on the show there's no news. Just a man who keeps multiple poos.
Here, this big one's my favourite. See how it's fibrous, really lovely texture.
Oh, that's a lovely
Would you
shit. That's a
encourage
lovely
other
shit.
people to enter for their chance to win?
If it's colour you're looking for, take a gander at old Blue Eyes here.
The national news lost its way.
That's my favorite my Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Some of these are quite rare.
Maybe that was unfair.
And that's all we have time for today. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Robin. What a lucky pair they are. And finally in this segment, it's over to Patrick Bannon, who's gone to the smelliest town in the country to see how the unprecedented weather is affecting the locals. Patrick?
Hello there, Jeremy. Hello, yes. I'm here live in Grizzleford, which was recently voted the smelliest town in the country. And I have to say that, you know, in this heat, the smell really is. I mean, it's something else. Barry Lardons, mate, you've lived here your whole life.
I haven't
How'd
been
you
muted
put
this
up
whole
with the
time,
stink?
right? You've been able to listen to me.
proud
Oh,
of
no,
our
fuck.
team, to be honest with you. You can tell that, look at him, proud as punch.
Oh,
You know what it's like,
shit.
son. Being
I don't know if
in
I've
the
been muted this whole
smelliest
time.
town,
I might have been muted this whole
living
time.
in the shadow of Arseminster, those smug fucks. But who's laughing now, eh? What, not me, that's for sure. So what happened, mate? Right, the good people from Willington's Fist came in and saved
Okay, I've not been
the day
muted?
with
Okay,
their
thank
factory.
you.
You're talking,
Excellent.
of course, about the newly built flour factory. Yeah.
I thought my microphone was off. My microphone was off this whole time.
But as soon as we heard about the stench, we paid them whatever they wanted to put it here. Stink not affect
No,
your
no, no,
life in every way,
no, don't,
Barry. I mean,
don't,
perhaps if
oh,
you're
don't
filling in
you.
a tax return or completing the physical act of love. It's strong at first, but you get used to it after several weeks of your first bout of sickness. The judges were very impressed. So, what's the sickness? Oh, that's nothing to worry about. It takes a few minutes.
I'm so getting an F on this segment, for sure.
Now, folk are saying something about the production line and how they dump carcasses directly into the waterway, but I think it's probably the fume valves on the high street.
On the high street? Should I see a doctor? What are the symptoms?
Well, the first one is asking stupid questions. Then folk experience a loss of inhibition.
Fuck off, do they? When was the last time you brushed your teeth, you stinking old tramp?
Next recording is a period of randomly bursting into song,
followed immediately by delusions of grandeur.
Oh, it's not really a problem, I've never sung in my life. Hello, it's sexy Patrick Bannon, and he's wearing sexy shorts now. Oh my God, look at me. I'm like a stallion. I'm gorgeous, why didn't you tell me? I should take my shirt off.
Take your shirt off on live TV, do it.
Touch me if you want.
That will be the bout of undeserved self-confidence.
Love the Bannon, feel the Bannon. Oh man.
And the ennui. All that's left now are the hallucinations and unconsciousness.
Nana Dottie? Was that you? Why are you made out of elbows? You know I don't eat opinions.
Bye-bye.
Don't worry, folks. Once he wakes up, he'll be just fine. We'll just find a place to stick him where it won't matter how many times he evacuates his bowels. Right, that's all here from Grizzleford, a town that's really making a stink. I'm Barry Lardons. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Barry. With a naval blockade being set up around our coastline as we speak, when we come back, I'll be talking to 3 members of the general public who appear to be here purely for medical reasons. Don't go away. Unless, of course, you've got something better to do. We'll be back after
This next section features a potentially controversial guest, and Barnes may request some censorship if he goes too off-topic. You've done a great job so far keeping everyone happy, so let's keep up the good work.
When did this get on my desk?
It's 200 fucking degrees in here, and I can't do this anymore.
Crazy Neil.
I know the prices are mental. If you're boiling hot and you're thinking, I need to get cool, I need to get down to Neil's because we've got the aircon on. We're serving up ice creams to all the customers. But our prices
Yeah, E. Yeah, I deserve an E. It was terrible.
It's on the